Yay.
There we go. Everything is working, and I could not be happier. Welcome to Two Nerds One Quest, everybody. This is our Dungeons and Dragons weekly session that we're doing every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Two Nerds One Quest on Twitter. That's where you can, if I remember, that's where I will be putting the reminder about the show and about when the shows go up. And we are within
that was bad.
The podcast. Well, probably within 2 days of the podcast going live, because I have not recorded an intro to say that we skipped over episode 1, because session 2 is going to be the first session that they see, because session 1 was unlistenable. Well, it would have been fine if the audio wouldn't have been out of sync. So it even recorded, like Genius was saying, how the video and the audio didn't line up.
Like a bad kung fu movie.
But for us, it was fine.
In the worst possible way.
The audio, it translated that way on the audio file. So everything was just all, like, you would talk, and then like 30 seconds later, I would talk, and then you would already be talking about something else. It was just a mess.
There's a lot of innuendo when me and Norm get together.
It was worse than a bad kung fu movie. Fair note to anybody watching for the first time.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
We're
going to
not
be swearing up in this joint.
Totally sweary.
Wife friendly? I guess, yeah. Yeah, it's wife friendly.
Yeah. A lot of innuendo, and and we do swear. So hide your kids, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is wife friendly.
Yes.
I mean, my wife doesn't have any interest in it, but for all wives that are interested and husbands.
It's so crazy to think we've done 5 of these already.
You'll notice that with this stream, we do a lot of explaining and ask a lot of questions, because I've never done this before. This is our 6th session, and this is my 6th.
Well, that's what it felt when we did the podcast too. It's just. Wait. I'm used to. I had 2 campaigns running where it's been
about last week.
Every 3 weeks that we've been playing. So
once
to be in session
once we hit
6
session 100, you'll be like,
right now,
we've done 100 already.
I mean, this would have been session 2 in that campaign. So, just rolling through this like steamrolling, it's really cool. I think that's most guys. So, do you want to set up where?
Yeah, I like doing it weekly better.
Aronan and Ellie ended up
just me.
last week.
Yeah. All right. So, the beginning of last week, Aronan and Ellie were in Gnomegarde, and they had just almost gotten skewered by a giant crossbow bolt. So throughout last week's session, they met with the gentleman, I guess you could say, who was...
I imagine he would have called it a multi-directional crossbow.
Which was like a 12-pointed...
Tower? Maybe?
I don't even know what you call it.
Crossbow.
Ka-chunk machine.
No.
Talked to him for a couple minutes, went past. But we weren't really high up, because it's high level.
Cask of
went through
cask.
And then
the cask, the room full of casks. Yes, it was.
So we went through there. We went into a room and talked to a couple of other gnomes,
the evil
who
whiskey
then brought us through.
And then Ellie turned blue.
Was that last week?
Yeah, and
that was last
filling
week.
In gaps here.
Oh yeah, that's because we had the fight against the evil whiskey.
Yep. I just want to know what you remember, so I can remind you of things that you may have forgotten, such as Ellie being blue.
It's amazing how much you forget in a week. Yeah, Ellie. Yeah, that's.
You really died again.
I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version. That's right. Ellie is blue, and fought that one. Went and talked. Yes. Every week, man. I'm scared for this week.
Yep.
At some point, I got to be into level 3 so I have a little bit more life.
Talk to Fiddlestib
went to talk to 2 gnomes who then brought us to.
No, I have it in the notes here for the thing.
The workshop.
Yeah, it's actual.
Went to the workshop first. Yep.
I just have to pull it up because I was on the I was on where we were going today, and not where we've been.
Did you write it down?
Grab a notebook and take good notes. Taking good notes is amazing. Even when you're playing with a group of people, I know we're doing a one-on-one, so me and Norm are piecing together, and we should probably take better notes to handle this. But if you can find someone,
hold on a second.
If you can find someone within your group that's a good note taker and will take notes, I have an amazing note taker in both the campaign I run and the campaign I play in. Actually,
also got to let the dog out. I'll be right back.
She does phenomenal job taking notes. Actually, I have 2 note takers in the campaign I run. The 2 ladies in that group are both notebooks full of notes, and frequently are going back to me and correcting me on stuff. But also, yeah, just even if you're taking notes, just hit the high points. Grab names, titles, what you're trying to do. And just stuff that will spark your memory for going forward, what you want to be, what you want to do as a party. I mean, sometimes you go back and you find a note and you can pull a name out of thin air, and if you do that a lot of times, me as a DM, if my players pull some random name out of thin air that would have a correlation to someone they're interacting with, very, very cool to do and see them. I mean, like, that makes me feel good. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I've been talking to people while you've been gone. I don't sit in silence. I mean, it's a stream. I don't want anyone to be bored. So I was just talking about the note takers I have in my groups and how the ability to pull a name out of supposed thin air that would have a correlation to this other person is actually a very cool thing as a DM to hear you as a player get involved in the world and understand, remember a name here or there. And not everyone's a note taker. I mean, well, that's what I was saying. When you're taking notes, the big things to figure out is, okay, so like anytime I would enter a new city, write the city name. Then if you meet the mayor, write mayor in his name. Write shopkeeper, shop's name, shopkeeper's name, type things. And you just start building this database basically of what your character knows, where your character has been. So I mean, it's like going to Chicago for the first time. You don't know where Grant Park is or anything, so you just, how do I get there? I don't know. Are you meeting the mayor when you go to Chicago? The also glorious thing we have in this day and age is the internet.
So is that what I'm doing wrong when I go to Chicago?
Written all that stuff down already. You can just go look it up. Aronan does not have the internet. All right. So you ended up talking with Fiddlestib and Dabblebob, and they both seem to be trying to work on some way to
all right, let's get the shit show on the road.
Handle someone who has lost their mind. Yep. Which, if anyone out there is following along with the adventure, I did play this slightly differently.
We just ended up back in that room.
You just gotta go with it.
Back in the secret room.
And sometimes you read something and you forget it, and then you go and when you go back and look at it later when you're prepping for the next session, you go, "Oh, I did that wrong." Norm has no clue what I did wrong. It isn't gonna matter to him. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people are fearful of DMing it. What if I make a mistake? No one's gonna know. unless you tell them or they go and look in the adventure themselves. And even if they go look in the adventure themselves, you can always say, "Hey, it felt better doing it this way." And I mean, there are times I put puzzles in front of players where players sat there for 15 minutes trying to figure out a puzzle.
Yeah, unless you tell them.
That's boring. Sometimes boring and frustrating when they can't figure it out. And it's like, okay, so yeah, pro tip as a DM, if you're ever going to do a puzzle, go to your brother, sister, mother, father, sibling. That'd be a brother or sister. Child, find someone that and present the puzzle to them and have them try and figure it out. Figure out how long it would take for someone to figure through it. And then count that you'd have 5 people working on it, or 7, depending how many you have in your party. Anyways, you guys enter the room. There is a gnome sitting glued and tied to a chair. And there is another gnome sitting on
we see this
the
guy
bed, kind of rocking back and forth, face and hands. The gnome tied to the chair looks up at you pleadingly, has a gag in his mouth, like a just a rope or cloth tied around his mouth, tied around his head, and looks up at you with pleading eyes, and doesn't vocalize right away, and just kind of looks over at the other gnome sitting on the bed, rocking back and forth, who doesn't seem to notice you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take a quick look around the room for anything. How do I put this?
Okay, yeah, make a perception check
for anything that could be a danger to us. Like I'm gonna kind of take a look to see if anybody's like hiding anywhere, if there's any place for somebody to hide, or like.
You aren't walking around the room, correct? You aren't walking around the room. You're just looking around the room from your position. Okay, and I'm saying perception check because you're stopping and you're just looking. If you were actively walking around the room and lifting stuff up and looking under things, that'd be investigating.
What's that?
13. You don't notice anything around the room. The bed is a mess, and the gnome sitting on the bed seems to kind of be just like gibbering to himself.
13.
Consistently. You think you hear I need to protect people. I need to. Or no, he's not saying he needs to protect people. He says I need to protect him. I need to keep the gnome rocking on the bed. So I just need to protect him. I need to keep him safe. Maybe if he eats enough, he'll go away. But how many more is enough? And it just kind of talking to himself, like someone who might be a little off their noodle.
Okay.
What they didn't do anything. Why is the king
gibberish
in the chair tied up like that? I mean, well, that's what these are the kings. But why does he have him tied up? And at this point, the one king sitting on the bed kind of looks up at you and says, "No, you must get out. You close the doors, close the doors, close the doors, close the doors." It's not. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. You're in here. You don't change shape, do you? And he draws this little dagger out of his side. Fiddlestib looks at the king and
Fiddlestib,
says, these are adventurers. They came here.
How we saved.
Why did you come here?
Killed the changeling.
You didn't know about them,
or whatever it was.
Make a persuasion check. 15.
We can talk about that after this. We need to fix
Okay.
this situation first.
Yeah. We do need to talk about that because you didn't know about this. So why would you be here
15.
otherwise? He kind of he's kind of or she has put herself in between. Oh no, no, it was Dabblebaub that took you, right? Or Fiddlestib. I thought it was Dabblebaub that took you up there.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that after this.
Because she was the one doing the straitjacket.
Giving me this side eye.
So she kind of puts herself between the kings and you, like social distancing between both of you.
I thought...
That's gonna timestamp
All right,
this
we'll go with that
podcast for people years down the line if anyone finds it. Your Majesty, they killed the shape changer.
Yeah, right.
Thing. They have. Do you still have the proof? The piece? It's gross. You can't take this lump of like a foot thing out and set it, and he kind of looks at it and is, what is?
Yeah, I'm gonna show him.
Is that it? That must be it. That is I don't know. Where's the dead thing? I see it. I was trying to fill that. Well, they have this.
Hold that thought. I'm looking at something in my audio.
They have
Genius
the
says
body. It's back
15
down
seconds behind.
on the other side of the city. In one of the tunnels. It's still there. The guards were taking care of it, so they have it. We could show it to you, Your Majesty. I need to see it. Will you go have them bring it in? Yes, Your Majesty. And Dabblebaub kind of bows backing out of the room slowly, leaving the two of you with the kings.
All right, well,
maybe it's that
gonna have to
filter thing you put on.
do with it. It looks like I'm not really
to block out your fan. I don't know.
Dropping any
frames
or anything
okay.
or on my side, so
I thought you had that
I'm
on.
not sure what the deal is.
So you are left in the room for a scant few seconds.
No, that's still.
When through another door comes like 4 gnomes with pikes dressed in armor like guards. And they just come in and they stand along the room. Almost like they were sent back in because you weren't trusted to be left alone with the kings. Which, when you think about it, honestly makes some sense. Based on the questioning that you got about why you were actually here. They have moved up and they have put themselves in a position between you and the 2 kings. Both of you and Ellie and the 2 kings.
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of. So they're behind me.
There's a dresser and a like place to wash up, like a wash basin / vanity type.
Is there anything else in the room, like other than just like the?
You don't notice anything
Like, is
out
there
in the
gold
open.
or anything,
That
any
would be.
shiny
I
objects?
mean, there's some cups there and stuff, but everything is very earthy and kind of mundane. It's not very decorative. It's nicer than the other stuff you've seen in this area, but these gnomes are very earth based, earth dwell. They aren't dwarves who are making grand constructs of um like finely carved stone or gems or anything like that. The gnomes are more interested in making um contraptions and different like items, magical items and whatnot, but nothing sits out in the open. Okay, you do that.
Delay. I should look that up and see if there's an easy way to fix it.
And we're back.
Stream Elements. Because I'm plugged in. I shouldn't.
So Aaron, I'm looking around the room, does not find anything that
delay.
looks overtly valuable.
All right. And we're back. All right.
He wants more proof than the body part. He sent Dabble.
Okay,
he
so
sent Dabble Bob to go get the body.
To
so
ask again how. No. So the king believes that we got rid of the changeling, or that we got rid of.
Well, you clearly have a piece of something.
So he sent it
if
back.
If you can
to
produce
get the body.
more of it, if more of it can be brought here and laid on the floor.
Your Highness King,
I have no reason to doubt it.
Anything else?
Because this definitely does not look gnomish. As he kind of prods at the thing with the dagger he's got.
Convince you that we took care of the issue?
I needed to keep him from going out. He wanted to still go out, and I'm concerned about his safety. So I glued him to the chair so he couldn't move.
So why is the other
I was
king
the only one that knew.
Up?
Only if I'm sure it's gone. It ate two of us. I am.
Well, isn't that what your guard is for, to keep him safe?
I need to keep him safe. I need to keep.
Well, now that everybody knows,
if he ever got eaten, I would just
unglue him.
I would be broken and lonely. I can't have him.
But the king, the other king, shouldn't be tied up. How is that? Can't be safe for him.
He wanted to get out. That's why he's glued to the chair. It has nothing to do with the guards. The guards didn't know what was going on. None. He suddenly gets very quiet.
I think that in my experience, having 4 guards around him like this is safer than being
guards
glued to a
know
chair.
What's going on? One kind of looks back over. No, sir. No idea.
I know, but now they do. So now they know how to keep him safe.
And they kind of turn and look back at you, like, and shrug. As you're going through the story and detailing this, and them hearing that the king said that it had eaten 2 of them already, their eyes just keep getting bigger and bigger as you explain this. And that it was a barrel, a cask, and
right. So I'm going to explain to them the whole changeling
and
situation.
Then hearing the king say shape changer, they're quite alarmed at this point. You don't even need to insight check to know that these guards had no idea what was going on and are kind of upset. About that time after you go through that story, this other door opens, not the secret door that you came through, but the other door the guards came through, opens up, and this these two gnomes with this wheelbarrow contraption come rolling in with this big sloshy
So how long is it
gelatin
going to take for
style
him to get
body
back
and
with
just kind
that
of
body?
lift up the wheelbarrow contraption and just kind of slides off onto the floor and at the king's feet. And the king looks at it and goes, "Oh." He takes his dagger and he goes up to it and he pokes it just a little bit and prods it and just walks around and he's looking at it. And this is where you cut the piece off. Okay. 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 Gnomegarde. Gnomegarde is safe. Okay. 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 And he goes over to the chair and he unties the gag and the other gnome king looks at him and says, "You stupid! What are you doing? Tying me up? You know, all you had to do is say you were concerned I wouldn't have gone anywhere. That's all you had to tell me. Just tell me to stay here. Stay. You can share your problems with me. I had no idea this was going on either." And the one king that was crying, which was kind of off his rocker, takes a solvent out and just starts dumping it on the glue on the chair and untying the ropes. And the king gets up, is eventually able to get up from the chair and say, I am King Nerkly. This is my husband, King Korbos. We apparently had a shape changer in our midst, and he saw fit as he kind of slugs him on the shoulder to tie me up to keep me safe. He kept muttering about how it was to keep me safe. And he turns and looks at him. Are you okay now? Nerkly looks at Korbos. Korbos says, I don't know. I was just so scared. I knew it had eaten two of us. I didn't want to eat anyone. I just thought it would hopefully go away. It was wrong to lock them up or lock you up. I know. So I am truly I am sorry. I panicked. I'm not a very good king. I'm sorry. I'm not the king you are. And Nerkly kind of looks at him and says, "No, it's okay. Let's talk to our friends here." And turns and looks at you and says, "Thank you. You have a name?" Ellie, when you say this is Ellie kind of bows deeply, and she puts her hand up as she bows and kind of smacks you in the gut to try and make you bow as well. And you do flinch from her going to
this is
flinch
Ellie.
to cover your gut.
We kind of.
What do you do? Did you okay? You both bow.
I'm going to continue the bow and realize what was going on.
That's
It-
it's customary to bow before a king.
Let's see here.
And he stands up as straight as he possibly can, even though when you bow, your head didn't even come anywhere near his level.
Quite one for the dramatics with the deep bow, but we are pleased to meet your acquaintance and honored to be in your presence.
I appreciate that. Is there anything we can do for you for what you have done for us, ridding us of this awful, awful creature?
Yes, Your Highness, I'll keep that in mind for the future.
It was to get, as you look at the paper, you're trying to recover magical item. A magical item for
Well, there is one thing.
I forget his name.
Side note: what was the quest that we're on for a specific
For
person
the
or
for
just
the
for the town?
oh boy, let me get up here chapter wise. If I can find his name. Again, names are important. The town master. Is it the town master? Harbin Wester. Yep. It's Phandolin's town master, Harbin Wester. Wester. The quest you had taken up was you're seeking something you're seeking a magical item to help defeat the dragon. That was what the specific undertaking was.
All right, so I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show the kings the
Dragon.
note.
There's a dragon. He's still a little spooked.
And I'm gonna ask him.
It's news to me.
He is familiar with Harbin Wester.
Harbin Wester.
And the dragon that is outside.
Phandolin?
Not near Gnomegarde. So I don't want to spook him again.
So he needs something to help kill a dragon. I don't know if well, wait.
Yep, that is correct, sir.
Maybe. Yes, one of these. And he goes running over and he runs over to the bed and kind of flips up the skirt on the bed and flips it up to the top and drags this thin layered chest from below it. And he waves his hand in front of these two latches and then touches what is an area on it. You don't see clearly in the middle of it, and you hear two clicks, and then he lifts the cover on this and he goes, these may work well for fighting. Well, maybe not. I don't know. This is the best I can do, though. And he comes running over and he says, this hat will help. Well, maybe not you. Maybe help her. Maybe. She looks like a holy lady. So maybe not her. But take it. Maybe you can sell it. And then this, and he hands you this like folded up piece of cloth, basically. And you can tell it's actually something is folded within this. And then he hands you this bundle of cloth that's kind of wrapped. It feels like it's wrapped around something, like there's a stiff cord in the middle of it. And this will definitely help against a dragon, unless it's immune to fire. In which case, then this will not help with the dragon. But you can have it for saving our city and getting my beloved's mind back. And he kind of walks over and grabs the hand of the other king and squeezes it. No, he only handed you two items. That the first he said hat, but he handed you a bundle of cloth, basically. That you look at it and you realize the hat's probably inside the cloth, and like both of these things were stored.
So
it's two
what
items.
Was that third item? Is it covered up as well?
Oh, no. He was describing the second item.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, the fire threw me off. I thought that was a third item.
No, just
All
keep
right.
the dragon away from us, please. We've had enough
Thank you,
monsters for
your Majesties.
this year. King Corvos is behind him, just nodding his head. Yes.
Is there anything else that you would need of us before we go back to help Phandalin?
Can you do anything about this? And she kind of points to her face and her hands. And the king looks at her and says, "Oh, that'll go away, dear. Just don't cast any more magic while you're in here. It's very weird unless you know how to harness it. It will do stuff like that.
All right.
But it's
So
only
I'm gonna say,
temporary. It should
Ellie,
go away.
Was there anything else?
I don't
you
know how
needed?
long has it been that way. I don't know. Quite a bit already." He goes, "Well, it should be going away soon." And as you notice, as you're looking at her and having this conversation, Aronan, you actually notice that it is lighter than it was before. Like it's already going. Yeah, it's starting to fade already. Perfect. So, she says, "Okay, thank you."
She's a lighter
Can
skinned
we
Smurf.
rest here for the evening? She says,
I'm not gonna tell her.
before heading back to Phandalin. And she kind of looks at you like she's asking, but also looking at you like, this would be a good idea, but if you want to go, we can go, type thing. Like she's uncertain about it, looking to just see if you agree with her about resting. Absolutely. You can
Yeah.
definitely rest here. Now that it is safe, we do not mind having
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
company.
We've been traveling.
Um,
We traveled a long distance, and
the king talks to the guards, and the guards
tiring
actually will
obstacles
escort you
to
to
endure. If we could
the
please
quarters, basically.
take a rest
Which,
in one
if
of your
you
rooms, that'd
go
be great.
back to the room, and so if you go back through the throne room and down the hall, through those double doors and down the hall to the right, all the way to where that cliff is, and then there's that circular, or not circular, but like 90-degree bend upward into the room with all the little alcoves. That's where they're taking you up there, and in each one of those little alcoves is just a pile of blankets. And the guards actually go into one of the alcoves and yank all the blankets out of it and throw them in one of the other little alcoves, and two guards come walking in with like fresh blankets and throw them in there for you. And the one guard is kind of left behind, the one in charge, and kind of looks at you and says, "If there is anything else you need, you call for me. Okay? Bindle Snout."
Nice.
Food, yes. We can get you food, yes. Drink? Okay. And he goes away and leaves the two of you sitting in this little alcove by yourselves.
Can we get some food? Oh.
She's looking at her hands and she's like, "I think it's getting better." I'm sorry, what were you saying? The items, though, yeah.
I'm gonna
right? Okay.
say it was a good idea, Ellie. We definitely needed to rest. We also need
Okay.
to look over these
And
items.
if you
figure out what they are and what they do.
spend an hour attuning to the item, you can
Ellie,
figure out what it is.
you still
if
look
it
blue.
requires attuning.
Don't worry about it.
But you can
It'll go
actually
away
take
soon.
the time to look at it and
I said,
poke and prod at it. Ellie's gonna have
yes,
better
we need to look
success
at the items.
with this stuff.
So I'm gonna unwrap the first one.
Yes, she has knowledge of magic. Granted, it's divine magic and not arcane magic, but you have no magic. So, um, Ellie will actually, if I can get this open, figure out where here she is. Again,
because of what she is.
The book for her stats. Which one do you want her to look at first? First item, she starts unfolding this. It's kind of a square package of cloth. She takes it and she starts unfolding the corners of it and pulls out this it's a hat. It's kind of
whatever that first item was.
It's really weird because she unfolds it and it looks like it's just like a circle. But then she grabs the middle of it and pulls it up, and it is literally a cone-shaped navy blue hat with gold crescent moons and stars on it and a wider brim on it. And she's looking at it and she says, well, it's a bit eccentric, but it looks like a wizard's hat, maybe. She puts it on and yeah, no, this is not something I can do anything with, but this would be very good for a wizard, I believe. I don't know if it's going to help us. Do you know any wizard magic? Clearly. Absolutely. All right. So, one wizard's hat, and she kind of pushes it down and folds the cloth back up on it and hands it back to you.
Well, I'm not a wizard.
She takes the second one and starts unrolling it. And you know how you have, like, if you rolled something around
so that
something along the skin, you rolled cloth around, you kind of pull up on the cloth and kind of let it tumble in your hand. Till this, this chunk of wood that is finely carved. It's all inlaid like with different woods in the handle and everything. And as it comes out to the tip of it, it switches from like a deep mahogany to like a cherry wood, and has specks of like maple in it that almost look like fire in the end of the wand. Well, it's a wand. This wood. Yes, it very clearly is. As she's looking at it, she realizes this and says, "This is a wand, and if I'm not mistaken, it will do something fire related, judging by these designs here." And I don't know if you've seen a wand before in your lifetime, but you would agree.
I was gonna say
this is very clearly a wand that has something to do with fire. So the hat is a hat of wizardry, and the wand is a wand of pyrotechnics. So you can add those to your inventory if you like. Yep. Yep. Up and down. The Grand Old Duke of York. Wand of Pyrotechnics. You can add both of those to your inventory in D&D Beyond as well.
Alright, you need to get down. He wanted to climb up, and now seconds later, he is getting down. Hat of...
Aminals, they happen.
And wand of what? Wand of fire? Alright, he wants to get out. Hold on a second.
Alright. And he's back. As you're sitting there identifying this stuff, food comes. There's a platter brought in with some dried breads and like it's like a green bread. And it smells kind of off.
And I'm back.
A little bit. and 2 goblets of this deep, deep purple wine-like substance. Similar. You think this might be what is in the other casks? That room smelled much like this. No. Do you
Does
ask
it smell like
what
the
it
thing I
is?
fought?
These are the it's what us gnomes live on. We have the mushrooms outside on the islands that we
Have I ever
harvest
had it
them,
before? Do I know
and
what
we
it is?
make the bread from the green ones, and we make the wine
Yeah, I'm
from
gonna
the
ask.
purple ones, and from the red ones we get um, oil that we use for several different things, both burning and lubricating mechanisms. So, and he kind of bows before you, and then just kind of stands expectantly, waiting for you. Okay, it is. It's edible. It tastes a little mushroomy. It's kind of bland, honestly. The wine is very pungent.
All right, so I'm gonna start eating and say thank you.
And not the worst thing you've ever drank. There's been other alcohols in this world that you have
Not good.
definitely thought were much worse than this. Do you shoo him away or say you said thank you, right? Okay, so he bowed and went walking away. Then
Is the guard still standing there?
yep, she, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I said thank you.
okay, I agree.
I'm gonna say.
And she ate about half a
I'm gonna.
hunk of that
So has
bread
Ellie
and
done looking
slammed
at
a glass
everything
of the
and
wine
we have everything figured out?
and then laid down in the
All right,
blankets
so
that they gave you.
I'm gonna tell her that we should get some rest and we need to leave by first light.
Okay. So you guys take a long rest so you can reset all your shiznit. At this point, two, um, you would go to level 3 because you have completed this quest.
All right, time to lay down,
Yep.
take a nap.
And then make sure you confirm. Yep. Mm-hmm. At this point, I would have you level to level 3, but we'll do that
reset
off
maximum hit
the
point
stream. We'll
changes.
continue with the story here. You're gonna um.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't want to actually
You
reset
want
something.
to take? Let's see. Nope, that's not what I want. I want to go campaigns. So if you are going to level 3,
No, we can continue to level 3. It's a part of the game, right?
So if you click on your portrait, or actually your name, I should say, in D&D Beyond, and they'll bring a drop down, and you can click Manage Levels. You see it? Should bring you to a screen that has Rogue, and then over on the right-hand side, it will say Level, and you just change it to 3. And you get to make a big decision here. You'll see the one blue box show up, which says Roguish Archetype. Or you get a 404 error.
Oh no, you have discovered a portal to a new plane where things are not working as intended. I just got an error. You sure you want to remove all your levels? Nope. Cancel.
At the bottom of it, there should be a roguish archetype box that you should be able to open up and make a selection for.
Let's go to 3.
No? Okay.
All right,
Well, I
so
can
I'm
walk you
level
through
3.
these options.
I'm not sure what it's going to let me do, but
it is literally the one choice you got to make, and I got to look this up anyways because
nope. I'm gonna reload, and if we can't, then we'll just do
Yep.
this at a different time.
Yep. So that goes, all that stuff goes up automatically.
There we go.
Then you have your roguish archetype that you need to choose for level 3, and this is where you actually
so
become
I'm up
more than
to,
just a rogue. You start
24
becoming a
hit
very
points.
specific type of rogue.
3d.
And this is where most
hit dice.
classes take their
Good.
start settling into being something. Like this is where most characters, like a lot of times when I start any campaign, I will rush through 1 and 2 and get characters to 3 by usually the 3rd session, just so that you are starting to be, because 1 and 2 is kind of, I'm doing it with us because you're new, get some feet under the ground. I will do that in some campaigns. If everyone's a veteran player and knows how to play, I'll start at 3, just because it will everyone should know, kind of have a good sense of how their characters or how the game works. They're kind of training levels. Even when you do Adventures League, the Wizards of the Coast official sanctioned story game, you play 1 session, you go to level 3. They give you enough experience to go to level 3 right away after 1 session. So you just got to survive that first session. Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of... All right. So then we have... I went wailing past this. Roguish archetypes. All right. So the first one's an arcane trickster, which I don't think that's really fits what you were.
I hear that's easier
Some
than it should
rogues
be.
enhance their fine-honed skills of stealth and agility with magic,
or not.
learning tricks of enchantment and illusion. These rogues include pickpockets, burglars, but also pranksters and mischief makers, and a significant number of adventurers. But that's not where Aronan is, necessarily. Assassin. You focus your training on the grim art of death. Those who adhere to this archetype are diverse. Hired killers, spies, bounty hunters, even specially anointed priests trained to exterminate enemies of their deity. Stealth, poison, and disguise help you eliminate foes with deadly efficiency. Closer to Aronan, but not quite. An inquisitive. As an archetypal inquisitive, you excel at rooting out secrets, unraveling mysteries. You rely on your sharp eye for detail, but also your finely honed ability to read words and deeds of other creatures to determine their true intent. You excel at defeating creatures that hide among prey and prey on ordinary folk. Your mastery of lore and your keen deductions make you well equipped to expose hidden evils. Should I scroll down to Thief and read that one for you? Because that's honestly where I think we're headed. The Thief is your honed skills. You hone your skills in the larcenous arts. Burglars, bandits, cut purses, and other criminals typically follow this archetype. But so do rogues who prefer to think themselves as professional treasure seekers, explorers, delvers, and investigators. In addition to improving your agility and stealth, you learn skills useful for delving into ancient ruins, reading unfamiliar languages, and using magic items you normally couldn't employ. That sounds like Aronan. So go ahead and select Thief, then. That may bring a couple more. Oh, I got an action error this time. Let's refresh the page. archetype thief.
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
All right. So then we arrow over to next. We don't have anything to choose in our ability scores. Yeah. Second story work. Oh, this is what you gain for when you chose Roguish Archetype. You gained fast hands and second story work because you chose the thief. So starting fast hands, starting at third level, you can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check.
When you choose this archetype,
use your thieves tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the use an object action. So you can use your bonus action to do more than most people can at this point. Pickpocket someone with a sleight of hand, or grab something off of a desk as a bonus action. You can do that. You can use your thieves tools as a bonus action if you're in combat trying to disable a trap or something, or open a lock. Second story work, when you choose this archetype at third level, you gain the ability to climb faster than normal, and climbing no longer costs you extra movement. In addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dexterity modifier. So typically when you climb a surface, it's half your speed to climb. You have to make the athletics check to be able to climb it, but at most you'll go half your speed. So now that you have second story work, you go your full speed vertically, as long as you make the athletics check. So that is very helpful. And then on a running jump, typically a running jump is, I believe it's 10 feet. I'd have to look it up exactly. But you get to add your dexterity modifier to that as well now. So that will get you 14 or 15 feet, 13 or 14 feet.
I give that the thumbs up.
So you gained both of those by becoming a thief. Nope, I don't think anything else going through would be, nope. So that was your choices. So sometimes leveling is very easy, and then and being a rogue, your leveling is going to be simpler than most. If you're a wizard or something, you have spells to select and more choices to make with some of the other classes. Not that rogue is easier to play, but it's easier to level. Because you get your options, and it's kind of like, okay, I made this choice, and here's what I can do now. Ellie, she got Bless at level 2, but now that she's at level 3, she... No, I really got to do that. But she gained the spell Shield of Faith, so that will be helpful. Yeah, I will read to you exactly what it does, so you know what it.
Did you add her to the quest yet?
Not Shield for Faith, Shield of Faith. Shield of Faith is... It is a first level spell. It can be cast as a bonus action.
That shields us?
At a range of 60 feet. It lasts for 10 minutes. It requires concentration, so she needs to be maintaining concentration on it, which means when she gets attacked, she has to roll a Constitution saving throw. She has to either beat 10 or the amount of damage she took plus 10. Well, how does that work? Whatever's... Oh, no, she has to beat either 10... Okay. If she took damage less than 10, she needs to beat the 10 plus the damage she took. No. If she takes damage that is less than 10, she needs to roll higher than the damage she took plus 10. If she took greater than 10 damage, she just needs to beat the damage she took. in order to maintain the concentration on the spell.
Do we need to defer to the lazy
So
dragon
what
in the
this spell
chat?
does is a shimmering field appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting it a +2 bonus to its AC for the duration. She can give you a +2 AC, or herself a +2 AC.
Okay.
Oh, that's what it is. Lazy Dragon coming to the rescue. It's the higher of 10 or half the damage. That's what it is. Something like that.
That will be helpful.
I should know that, honestly. But I
Based on the
forget
number
I
of
have
rolls
amazing
that have hit
players.
me
So.
at my armor class, that is very useful.
Mm-hmm. So she now has Shield of Faith. She now has 22 hit points.
Thank you, Lazy Dragon.
Be helpful.
Yeah. And Jeff is,
she
for
doesn't.
some ungodly
She's
reason,
a spellcaster. She has
we
18
call him
hit
a
points.
genius for a reason.
No.
He remembers freaking everything.
That's the thing with spellcasters. They don't have a lot of hit points. So there you are. You're leveled up. You wake up in the morning on a long rest. From a long rest, fully recharged and ready to go. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
All right. I think we've pretty much been to every single room.
Do you go out
in Gnomegarde?
That door right there?
Sweet.
With that 30-foot cliff?
All right, so it's time to... Well, I'm going to make sure Ellie's awake. I don't want to leave her behind.
Yeah, you can. Oh, come on.
And we're going to...
Yep.
We're going to
So you'd head back through. You get to the area with the fans. You remember... Actually, make an intelligence.
No, we are going to go back through the rooms. It looks like we need to go.
No,
all the way
you
back
see
to
the
where we
fans.
started,
You know
huh?
they're there. It's just whether or not you'll be able to stop them. By see if you remember what he did. Intelligence.
Oh,
5.
God, I'm gonna die here, aren't I?
As you're kind of stumbling through it, Ellie's like, "It's right here," and she kind of moves this one rock, and there's a switch back there, and she pulls it, and the fans stop.
What am I checking?
As you guys navigate through the fans, you come walking down the stairs, and you're met by a guard
I am
who's
not
coming
guard.
across the bridge. And he's
5.
like, "Oh, it's you," and it's the guard from yesterday that you met in the room across the way. I was just coming over to see why the fans stop. They don't
Good, I
normally
didn't
stop
die.
during the morning like that. So I will turn them back on. Feel free to go. Thank you again for what you did for us. And as he walks away, he goes through the fans and he gets them going on again. You start crossing the bridge, and Ellie says to you, I just want to pat him on the head each time I say goodbye to him. No, they'd be very mad if I did that.
Thank you.
But I want to. They're so cute. They're little.
Maybe we'll meet again in the future.
So you're probably right. Don't tell him I said that. So you go.
Don't do that.
She kind of rolls her eyes at you and fine, and you guys continue on.
I also probably wouldn't say that to them.
You come around to where the wheeled the contraption is with all the crossbow attached to it, and it's kind of hanging off kilter. It was kind of on a swivel where it could turn around and kind of sit on like a ball-like swivel. It's kind of hanging off to one side. No one's in it. There is a pile of bolts in the hallway before you even get there that you're stepping over to get in there. And you go walking in there, and the gnome with the wild gray hair is asleep in the corner, just head down on a workbench, just snoring away. Make a perception check. 18. You see he actually does. He has a belt on that has several pouches on it, honestly.
Does he have any pouches on him?
What's your AC? You are suddenly grabbed from
18.
behind, 2 arms around you, and you hear a whisper in your ear, "Leave his stuff alone."
I'm going to go over to him. I'm going to creep up to him.
Are you going to try and fight her, or are you going to listen to
her? 14.
He's got nothing. They have nothing. They gave us what they had. If you haven't noticed, they aren't dealing in coin around here. They deal in mushrooms.
I am going to
let him be. Come on, let's go.
Say, Ellie,
and she kind of lets you go and starts walking towards the door. Yeah, okay. So you guys go walking to the door, and she turns to the left, remembering where she was, to head down the stairs. Or down the switchback trail to get down to the river.
You win this time.
Hey, Plant. Cool. Fantastic. Nice.
I'd like to say quick hi to Plant Lamp real quick. He's a Twitch streamer. He does
so
video
you
game
get to
stuff.
the end of the switchback, and you're headed back to Phandalin.
Had a nice discussion with him the other day.
Ellie looks at you right away, and
he also does D&D.
Can we not cross the river here? I don't feel like hiking in wet boots.
Maybe, possibly. Thank you for coming.
She's really kind of wrapping you around her finger. Secretly, you're kind of a softie. Or at least have a soft spot for her in your heart. You notice as you get in the sunlight, the blue from her skin is completely gone.
Fine.
Overnighted and faded away completely, and she looks like herself again.
Yeah. I mean, secretly, I was thinking the same thing, but I... Yeah.
As you head north...
She's starting to grow on me, I think.
Walking along the river, you eventually come to a trail that will lead back to Phandalin, which I need to find this. And your journey goes without issue as you head back down this trail for the better part of the day. At one point, you do hear a roar in the distance, but it doesn't seem threatening to you. It's a dragon's roar, best you can tell. Far away. It's not something that you are concerned about right now. Yeah, just kind of keep an eye out, and you keep an eye out to the sky. And you don't end up seeing anything on the remainder of your trip. Just the presence of the dragon is still known and kind of on your mind as you're making your way back to Phandalin.
I probably should keep an eye on.
So you arrive at the edge of town. It seems quiet. Are you going to try and stop at the windmill on the way back? Oh yeah, that's right. Make a survival check to remember where you got off the road. Try and find her.
Right. We need to stop at that windmill on our way back.
12. Between you and Ellie,
We're gonna stop at the windmill
who
because she
rolled a
said
14,
to stop back because she was gonna add something
you do
for us.
remember where you came hooked to the road, and you end up heading back to the windmill. And as you approach it, you see the door has been
12.
fixed. It's got some new boards on there where there were the large claw marks across it. And like the ground's been leveled out again from where the battle occurred. You yell for her. There's no response when you yell for her.
I'm gonna yell for Addie to see do I see her anywhere or is she in the windmill?
Walking around the windmill, it looks good. It looks like the land has been tended and evened out, and things look normal, and it looks like she's been tending to
that everything is okay.
the land and taking care of things. Like I said, the door's replaced and everything. What? Ah, okay, hang on. And you hear like footsteps on stairs and stuff, and door. You hear a latch kind of open on the door, and then she pulls the door open, but there's a chain that's still holding it closed, and she kind of peeks out with one eye. Aronan, you're back. Hang on. And she I don't undo the bolts for the dragon. This is to keep someone scrawny one like you out. She closes the door real quick and undoes the chain.
Chain isn't going to hold anything.
Well, come in.
Your windmill,
come in.
Right?
Come in. Hi, Ellie.
That's not going to keep the dragon out.
Ellie looks at her and says, I am doing well. Thank you very much, Addie. And Addie goes and she closes the door.
Yeah,
you're back for your stuff, aren't you? Wait right here. And you hear she kind of hobbles her way up the stairs to the top and gets up there, and you hear like sliding of something, and like a box falls, and shit, and going through her stuff, and grabs up
you said to stop back on our way.
You hear the clinking of glass, and she comes walking down the stairs, and she goes, here, poison, careful, don't eat, don't drink, don't touch, apply to your weapon, and it will poison your enemies. So what she has given you is 3 vials of poison. It's just poison. It will apply the poison condition to your enemies if you use it on your blades. I wouldn't recommend it.
Any particular name to it, or?
I mean, if you want someone else to drink it and you don't care about their health, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed to drink the poison?
It's going to act pretty quickly. Are you thinking of killing somebody?
All right,
I may have misjudged him,
gently
Eddie,
put it in my bag.
Ellie. I won't let him kill anyone with it unless they are evil.
How fast acting is it?
And even then, I'd have to have a good reason to, she says. And she kind of smirks at you.
No.
Thank you again for taking care of the Manticore. I appreciate that, and I know what that put you through.
I'm just gonna sigh and shake my head and ignore her.
Yeah. Yeah, you notice clearly as Addie kind of arches an eyebrow behind you at Ellie when you say that.
Sometimes I do care.
Um,
Sometimes I don't.
is there anything else you would need? Well, here. And she goes and over into the corner and she pulls open this
we're good unless there's something
pack
else.
And goes, I know I gave you one of these before, but I do appreciate what you did. And she walks over and brings you a potion of healing as well. You two seem to need those. Well then, are you traveling back to Phandalin?
Awesome.
All right.
We appreciate
Just
it.
let them know I am safe. I'm in my tower. I will be fine.
Yeah.
And you have the letter from before, correct?
Quite the swashbuckling duo.
So.
Yeah, we're on our way there right now.
Yeah. No, I'm saying she had written you a letter because she wouldn't actually go back to Phandalin.
Yeah, I picked up.
So,
I think I picked up all those.
When she says that, it reminds you that you have the letter.
I don't think I picked up the sheet for the windmill. I think I left it because I took the one from Gnomegarde.
Or at least write it on a piece of paper.
But I read it.
Okay.
Yeah, she wrote me the letter.
She kind of escorts you to the door and kind of waves and says, "Good luck. Watch out for the dragon. It's
It's
out.
I should probably put that in my inventory.
I heard it earlier.
I just did.
Well, just make sure you have good footing." She's concerned about you.
Yeah,
she appreciates what you did for her, and she's concerned about your safety getting back.
Trust me, the last thing I need to do is get picked up.
So you and Ellie head out.
I'm looking up more than I'm looking forward.
And work your way back towards Phandalin. As you are on the trail north to Phandalin, I need you to make a perception check. 23. In the woods to your right, you hear it before you see it, but there is a wolf that's kind of following you along the woodline.
Ooh. 23.
You heard it first, but you do see it. You do see it with a 23. You damn well do see it. On the opposite side of the trail, there are two more.
Can I see it, or I just
using that 23? Still writing that.
Okay.
Check.
I'm gonna take a look around. Is it alone?
Have you've stopped? I assume on the trail. Other... Yes. No. Or are you continually walking?
No. Fan freaking tastic.
When you mention wolves, Ellie panics a bit and grabs her staff.
We're gonna
and that sudden motion,
we're gonna keep walking, and I'm gonna tell Ellie
all make their move to move into you.
To be prepared.
And we'll start next week with a fight against these three wolves. Yeah, you got a soft spot for her, though. You aren't going to leave her anywhere anymore, I don't think.
Damn it.
It's fun.
I knew I should have left it in Gnomegarde.
This is the first session in which we didn't have death saves, other than session 1.
No, I need somebody to revive me every time you try to kill me.
But you're level 3 now. And you can climb a tree relatively quickly.
I mean, yeah.
Second story work.
Quit trying to kill me. This is the first session
leave her to die to the wolves.
It's the first session I didn't actually fight anything.
Well, thank you for joining us, those of you that are here.
Well, guess what's going to happen? Screw that. Ellie's going to fend for herself. Yeah, I'm going to jump from tree limb to tree limb like a little monkey.
We'll get this audio stuff straightened out, hopefully. And
thanks to Lazy Dragon and Plant Lab for joining us today. Hopefully, you will continue to join us.
Yeah.
And like I said, 2nerds1quest on Twitter. I'm
the only
Norman
thing I know
on
that
Twitter,
you changed was the
Wildfire1265 on Twitter.
And did you even change that setting?
Yeah.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, it seems to. I'm not sure because it didn't happen the last 2 sessions. I don't think. Because when I was going through the audio, it seemed to be fine. So.
All right. We'll figure it out. We'll get it straight. All right, everyone.
I changed the USB plug.
Have a good Sunday.
Because I had a weird
Stay
staticky
safe.
thing the first couple sessions.